So spring break is just around the corner, and many people are going to start traveling to warmer destinations. They'll go from the East Coast to the West Coast to the East Coast, and travel from within the United States to places like Jamaica, to Hawaii, to Mexico, to the Bahamas, and so many more places. Well, the United States has actually issued travel warnings to places outside the United States and places inside the United States. Today we're going to address what some of those places are and what some of the warnings are. So make sure you watch this entire video, because if you are planning to travel at all for spring break, you need to see what is about to happen. So make sure you stick around for this entire video. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So if you are planning to travel for spring break, the United States is now warning people do not go to certain places like Mexico, Jamaica, even the Bahamas. But I want to show you this. It says the U.S. issues travel warnings for these popular spring break destinations. It says in recent weeks, the U.S. State Department has issued advisories for those areas after recent violence. Now, I want to show you what some of these places are, okay? Let's actually look at some of these. First one's Jamaica. Why is Jamaica on this list? Well, it's on this list because reports of violent crime. What we are hearing, okay, says the State Department said in its warning that violent crimes such as home invasions, armed robberies, sexual assaults, and homicides are common. Sexual assaults occur frequently, including at all-inclusive resorts. Now, why is this happening? Well, one of the reasons why this is happening, according to reports from both sides, the victims and the people that are doing it, the reason why is because for an all-inclusive resort, and this happens more often than not, is many people drink in excess and they cannot remember what they did or who. And so again, it creates a massive problem. But that's in Jamaica is what they're warning, but this happens all over the place. It's not just in Jamaica, not just in Mexico. It could be in Miami, it could be in California, it could be in Hawaii, it could be everywhere. So just be aware of that. Next one is the Bahamas. Why? Gang violence. That's what they're saying. It says citing increased crime, the State Department issued a level 2 travel advisory for anyone going there. That means they want visitors to the Bahamas to exercise increased caution. Okay? The next one is Mexico. This is probably the biggest one. Here's the reason why. Because tourists are now being caught in the crossfire. And so what happens, okay, and I want to read you a little bit of this, but what's happening is tourists are staying in resorts and all this stuff, but crimes like homicides, kidnappings, carjackings, and robberies are happening all over Mexico. And some of the reasons why is because the cartels are not going after tourists. However, tourists are in the middle of it. Now, here's the places, and I'm going to give you a story and just saying this is a real life story. I don't think I've ever told this here on YouTube before, but here are the places they say don't travel to. Say don't go to Colima due to crime and kidnapping. Don't go to Guerrero due to crime. Michoacan due to crime and kidnapping. Sinaloa due to crime and kidnapping. Tamaulipas due to crime and kidnapping. Zacatecas due to crime and kidnapping. Now, I want to just tell you a story really quick. When I lived in Mexico, for about 3 years. Many people know that. You watch this channel, even some of my other channels, you see I was doing YouTube videos down in Mexico. Well, one of the reasons why we left, my family and I left, is because we were a little bit north of Puerto Vallarta, and we lived there for a little bit, but then we moved. The reason why we moved is because there was multiple kidnappings within just a handful of days in the city that we were living in, right along the coast. And so, being that I'm half Hispanic, I don't look like I'm half Hispanic, right? My complexion doesn't look like I'm half Hispanic. Anyway, so we moved, we left, and in the couple days after we left, the kidnappings got closer to the house that we were living in. And somebody that we knew actually did get kidnapped. Never found out where they went, what happened to them, but somebody that we knew got kidnapped. Okay, this happens. right? It just happens. Now, right now, it's not just in Mexico. It's not just in, Cancun and Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan and all these, these places, right? It can happen anywhere. For instance, what we continue to hear is that people are going to stop going to some of these spring break destinations like Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, okay, Mazatlan, even Hawaii. They're going to start going to places more local. Well, here's what people are worried about, especially over in Miami. Miami Beach, to be specific, is breaking up with spring break. At least they're trying to. They are implementing restrictions. They're giving more advisories, warnings. You cannot park in certain areas. You cannot party in certain times. But here's the thing. What happens for many people that are going on spring break, especially younger people, is they don't have a lot of money. Okay? They just don't have a lot of money. The money goes out pretty quick, or they just don't make much money. Now, here's the issue. If you don't have a lot of money at your disposal and you want to go and party and go and buy drinks and all this stuff, guess what? You're probably not going to be staying in a very nice hotel. Or in some cases, you will not be staying in a hotel at all. Based off of recent reports, there's a study that was done, or a poll that was done, and according to this poll, about 38% of people that are going on spring break do not have a hotel room. Their hope is to meet somebody, stay in their hotel, which is somewhat concerning, or they're hoping that their friends and them will all pitch in and get a hotel room together. Here's a concern. If you wait until you are actually on spring break and then attempt to get a hotel room, sometimes you will not have a hotel room, which means, what are you going to do all night? Well, probably party, maybe sleep outside, which again is dangerous, sleep in a car that you may drove down there or rented, again, dangerous. So this is the warning. They're saying, do not do things that you would not normally do. Don't go and drink in excess and completely black out where you do not remember a single thing, right? This isn't the Hangover movie. This is real life. They say just be careful, because what we continue to see are people are coming back from these vacations where they are all excited about going. The problem is they come back, they can't remember. They're getting phone calls or text messages from people that they have in their mind, they're based off their knowledge, they've never met, but yet they've interacted. There's pictures of them together. Yeah. So I'm not saying spring break is a bad time. I'm not saying spring break everywhere is there's going to be trouble and there's you should just stay home. But this is what many people are advising, that this year could be different for multiple reasons. Number one, here in the United States, they're saying that tourist locations or spring break destinations are going to be a hotspot for some of these these gangs that have come into the United States over the past couple of years. They're now trying to establish a territory. So don't be one of their victims. If you want to stay home, stay home. If you want to go out, just travel in groups and be aware of what is going on. So that's your travel advisory for today. If you have any questions whatsoever, ask your questions down in the comment section below. But that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.